The vibe is immediately tense as the IPC representative, Jade, tries to gaslight the Astral Express crew into signing a corporate merger disguised as an alliance. She's yapping about connecting the cosmos and fighting the Legion, but the crew isn't buying what she's selling. They know that signing up with the IPC usually means selling your soul for a little bit of stability, and the Nameless value their freedom way too much to become corporate pawns. Jade keeps pushing, acting like she's offering them a golden ticket, but it's giving major too good to be true energy. Jade switches tactics and invites everyone to a massive victory party on a planet called Amphorius, or as the locals call it, Astropolis. She's framing it as a chill vacation and a celebration, but everyone knows it's just a networking event to trap them into this anti-destruction alliance. She's dropping names like Diamond and the Strategic Investment Department to flex her influence, trying to make the Express feel like they're VIPs. It's a classic love-bombing strategy to get them to lower their guard before the real negotiations start. The crew huddles up to discuss the offer, and the skepticism is real. They know Jade is a shrewd businesswoman who doesn't do anything without an ulterior motive. While the idea of being leaders in an alliance sounds like main character energy, they clock that it might compromise their trailblazing mission. They decide to play it safe, agreeing to the idea in principle, but refusing to sign anything concrete right now. It's a polite maybe later to avoid burning bridges while keeping their options open. Jade takes the rejection like a pro, proving she's playing the long game. Since they won't come to headquarters, she suggests a compromise. Visit a place called Planarcadia on the planet Ahatopia. It's conveniently Himeko's old stomping grounds, which feels like a calculated move to pull on heartstrings. She mentions the Phantasmoon is full again, hinting at some major event. It's basically a trap wrapped in nostalgia. But since the Express needs supplies anyway, they decide to take the bait. Black Swan decides this is her cue to dip. She drops some lore about her memories with the crew being precious loot, but says she has to report back to the Garden of Recollection. It's a bittersweet exit, with her promising to help if they ever mentally call out to her. The crew is bummed to see their memory keeper bestie go, realizing they wouldn't have survived the last arc without her. It feels like the end of a season, clearing the roster before the new chaotic arc begins. The Express touches down in Arcadia, and the IPC rolls out the red carpet, literally clearing a platform just for them. Pearl, another Stoneheart, shows up to greet them, acting all professional and courteous. She drops the bomb that the IPC is basically running the administration here now, which is a major red flag. She's trying to be charming, but there's a cold, calculated vibe underneath the pleasantries. It's clear she's here to close the deal that Jade started, using this vacation as leverage. March 7th gets the lowdown on the local culture, specifically the Phantasmoon Games. It's this wild competition where people compete for the attention of the Aeon the Elation. The winner supposedly gets to be an Aeon for a minute, which sounds like absolute chaos waiting to happen. March realizes this isn't just a festival, it's a high-stakes battle royale for cosmic clout. The IPC wants to control it, obviously, because they can't stand anything happening without them monetizing it. Hi there. If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. Just when things couldn't get more chaotic, Sparkle shows up, declaring herself the tour director. She's dropped the villain act from Penacony, or is she, and is fully embracing the Chaos Goblin role. She reveals that the train they're looking at is actually alive, an imaginate creature born from paintings. Sparkle is yapping about how wish power brings drawings to life here, setting the stage for a world where reality is completely fluid and unhinged. The crew is skeptical but follows her lead because, honestly, who else knows what's going on? Sparkle introduces the subway, which is literally a living creature that works as public transit. It's a bizarre mix of biology and machinery, proving that this planet runs on dream logic. She explains that these imaginates have rights and jobs now, thanks to the IPC, which is the most dystopian late-stage capitalism twist possible. Even magical painting creatures have to pay taxes and work a 9-to-5. The crew is equal parts fascinated and horrified by how the IPC has commodified literal imagination. The crew gets mobbed by a rabid fan base because apparently they are intergalactic celebrities here. It's full-on idol culture with people screaming and trying to get autographs. The attention is overwhelming, and they realize that their heroics have been turned into content for the masses. It's a meta-commentary on fame, with the crew feeling like zoo animals. A cat station master, yes, a literal cat, has to save them, ushering them into a VIP passage to escape the Stan Twitter energy of the crowd. Sparkle drops some heavy lore about the world being a world in canvas, basically a painting that came to life. She explains that the IPC salvaged this place, turning it into a tourist trap. They see a giant thunder coil creature just chilling on a tower, working as a signal booster for TV broadcasts. It's sad and hilarious at the same time. Mythical beasts reduced to Wi-Fi routers. Sparkle points out that the IPC expects a return on investment for everything, hinting that the crew is just another asset to be exploited. They run into the Happy Smile Society, which is definitely giving cult vibes. These people are aggressively positive, trying to recruit the crew to defeat the enemies of happiness. It's toxic positivity weaponized, and the crew is immediately creeped out. It shows the dark side of the elation path, forced joy that masks underlying suffering. The crew politely, or not so politely, declines the invite, realizing that this planet's obsession with happiness is kind of a nightmare. Sparkle explains the mechanics of the Phantasmoon Games. To enter, you need a specific mask, and then you have to generate enough views and clicks, wish power, to get the Eon's attention. It's basically the universe's most dangerous influencer competition. The IPC wants to rig the game to control the outcome, turning a mystical ceremony into a predictable business transaction. The crew realizes they might have to join the game just to stop the IPC from ruining everything with their corporate greed. The crew spots a little creature snapping photos of them, a Furbo journalist working for a tabloid. It's a funny chase scene that highlights the lack of privacy in this world. The Furbo is trying to manufacture a scandal about the Trailblazer and Sparkle dating, which is peak fake news. They corner the guy who tries to fight them, but eventually he caves and tries to bribe them with a meeting at his magazine. It's a goofy side quest that reinforces how obsessed this world is with media and narratives. Sparkle starts showing her hand, hinting that she's not just here for fun. She warns the crew that they are prey in this game and that everyone wants to use them for clout. She introduces a rival streamer named Sparksy, who looks suspiciously like her, and suggests they team up to take her down. It's classic Sparkle, creating chaos and then offering a solution that involves more chaos. The crew knows she's manipulating them, but they're kind of locked in now. They run into Scott, an IPC guide who has absolutely zero main character energy. He's been stuffed in a trash can by Sparkle, which is hilarious but also shows how little respect the masked fools have for the IPC. Scott is trying to do his job, but he's completely out of his depth. He's the punching bag of the Ark, representing the sterile, bureaucratic side of the IPC, getting dunked on by the chaotic forces of the planet. The crew watches a live stream of Sparksy, the popular streamer persona. She's sickly sweet, manipulating her fans with parasocial tactics. She calls out the Trailblazer and March as bullies, weaponizing her fanbase against them. It's a terrifying display of how mob mentality works on the internet. Suddenly, the crew is surrounded by angry fans ready to cancel them IRL. It's a critique of stan culture gone wrong, with Sparksy acting as the puppet master. Just as things are about to get violent, the Department of Aberration Defense steps in. The officer, Kuchiba, shuts down the mob, reminding everyone that laws still exist even during the games. She explains that Sparksy is a supplicant in the games, which gives her some immunity. But she can't just incite violence. It's a brief moment of order in the chaos, but it's clear the authorities are barely holding it together against the power of the elation. Back on the diplomatic front, Pearl and Himeko have a tense sit-down. Pearl tries to use logic and statistics to convince Himeko to join the alliance, citing a 91% probability of rejection, but still pushing. Himeko flips the script, suggesting the Express can be a sale rather than a leader, supporting the cause without being bound by IPC rules. It's a verbal chess match where Himeko proves she's not just a navigator, but a master negotiator, refusing to let the Express lose its independence. The narrative shifts to a weird alternate reality where March and the Trailblazer are suddenly students at Graphia Academy. They've been hit by some kind of cognitive distortion or memetic virus. Sparkle, as Dean Sparksy, is running the school like a dictator, forcing them to participate in weird cleaning tasks. It's a surreal, dreamlike sequence that feels like a bad anime filler arc, but with sinister undertones. They have to play along to figure out how to break the illusion. The gaslighting continues as fake memories are implanted in their heads. March starts believing she's actually a student, recalling fake events like sports days and club activities. It's creepy how easily their reality is being rewritten. The Trailblazer has to fight the brain rot and keep March grounded. It's a test of their willpower and their bond, showing just how dangerous the power of elation can be when used to manipulate perception. Dean Sparksy is fully in her element, ordering students and teachers around. She's looking for a specific mask hidden in the school. The crew realizes this whole school setup is just a stage for Sparksy to find the artifact she needs to win the games. They decide to beat her to it, turning the school simulation into a heist movie. They have to navigate the bizarre rules of this fake reality while searching for clues. The crew runs into Scott again, who is also trapped in the simulation as a student. He's holding a grudge over a fake baseball game from 2 years ago that never happened. It's hilarious, but also highlights how deep the delusion goes. They use his confusion to their advantage, realizing that breaking the script might be the key to escaping. The Trailblazer starts acting out of character to disrupt the narrative flow. A showdown on the rooftop ensues, mirroring classic anime tropes. Scott challenges them to a duel, but it turns into a chaotic brawl involving fake students. The Trailblazer realizes that violence isn't the answer here. They need to break the logic of the world. By refusing to play by the genre rules, they start to crack the illusion. It's a meta battle where realizing you're in a story is the only way to win. They finally track down the location of the mask, realizing they need to find a teacher named Miss Dolly. The search involves sifting through memories and avoiding Sparksy's surveillance. It's tense because they know Sparksy is also hunting for the same target. They use the remembrance power to track memory fragments, turning the investigation into a supernatural detective game. They're racing against the clock and the narrative itself. They find Miss Dolly, who tests them to see if they are truly friends of Himeko. The questions are personal, digging into Himeko's past at the academy. It reveals that Himeko has some serious trauma associated with this place, hinting at a tragedy 15 years ago. The Trailblazer answers correctly, mostly, gaining Dolly's trust. It adds emotional weight to the wacky adventure, grounding the story in Himeko's hidden history. Just as they get the mask, Sparksy reveals she's been watching the whole time. She mocks them for falling for her trap, explaining that the mask belongs to whoever wears it first in the official timeline. She declares she's already won the narrative war. It's a classic villain monologue moment where the hero realizes they've been outplayed. Sparksy prepares to launch her big finale, turning the entire school population into her loyal fan army. Suddenly, a new player enters the chat. A mysterious character, implied to be Rappa or a ninja archetype, shows up, talking about being a protagonist in a comic book. It's incredibly meta. She offers to help the Trailblazer, lending them power in exchange for defeating the enemy within a day. It's a literal plot device intervention, leaning into the world as a story theme. The Trailblazer accepts the deal, powering up for the next round. The real Sparkle, or is it, pulls the Trailblazer aside for a serious talk. She explains that Sparksy is an entity created from her own discarded mask and the collective wish power of the internet. It's a Frankenstein's monster situation where the creation has overtaken the creator. Sparkle admits she lost control and needs the Express to clean up her mess. It humanizes the chaotic fool a bit, showing that even she can get cooked by her own schemes. The perspective shifts to General Yao Guang of the Xianzhou Alliance. She's arrived with a delegation and immediately starts 5D chess with Pearl. She reveals she's here to capture a dangerous criminal, Blade, the Stellaron hunter. She uses this intel as leverage to operate freely in Arcadia. It's a masterclass in diplomacy, trading information for power. The involvement of the Xianzhou raises the stakes, turning a local festival into a galactic incident. Yao Guang drops a bombshell. Blade is here, and he's dangerous. She predicts a catastrophic outcome if he enters the games. She sends Tingyun, who is acting very sus and capable, to handle the situation. The audience knows Tingyun has a complicated history, Ruin Mei, Phantalia trauma, so seeing her back in action is hype, but also nerve-wracking. The plot thickens as the Stellaron hunters get involved. Tingyun heads into the seedy underbelly of Dovebrook to meet the Sinwish Syndicate. She's posing as the Xianzhou's #1 assassin to trick the gang. It's a high-stakes bluffing game where one wrong move means death. Tingyun plays the role perfectly, radiating menacing aura while actually just being a merchant. It's a great scene that shows off her intelligence and adaptability, proving she's more than just a Foxian beauty. The Sinwish Syndicate is a mess of a gang, trying to rebrand themselves as legitimate. Their leader, P-Wave, wants to use the Phantasmoon Games to launch a pension fund for monsters, which is strangely wholesome for a criminal organization. Tingyun and her assistants, Trailblazer and friends in disguise, manage to fool the gang into handing over their mask. It's a heist pulled off through sheer charisma and social engineering. Tingyun continues to gaslight the gang members, using the Terror in Fog persona to intimidate them. A fight breaks out and she has to hold back to maintain her cover, relying on the Trailblazer to do the heavy lifting. It's a funny dynamic where the fake assassin is being protected by the real heroes while taking all the credit. The gang is completely fooled, terrified of this legendary killer who is actually just a diplomat in a trench coat. The situation gets complicated when the actual Stellaron hunters, implied, or rival factions show up. The gang leader, P-Wave, reveals he knows they aren't who they say they are, but doesn't care as long as they win. He's surprisingly chill, just wanting his gang to get some good PR. It turns the tension into a weird partnership. The crew realizes that everyone in this city is just hustling for attention and relevance. Tingyun drops the act with the crew, admitting she's just improvising based on Yao Guang's vague instructions. They secure the mask, but now they have to figure out what to do with it. The mask represents a slot in the games, and holding it puts a target on their backs. They debate whether to hand it to the IPC or use it themselves. It's a strategic pivot point where the crew has to decide their level of involvement. General Yao Guang reappears, revealing she knew everything that would happen. She explains that her divination predicts the death of a general, herself or someone else, in these games. She's here to defy fate by introducing variables, aka the Astral Express. She hands the mask to Sunday, of all people, hoping his chaotic energy will disrupt the predicted timeline. It's a massive gamble, using a former villain as a wildcard to save the future. Sunday accepts the mask, officially joining the game as a supplicant. He's intrigued by the concept of elation and wants to understand this world's philosophy. It's a redemption arc in motion, or maybe a descent into new madness. The crew is wary but realizes they need his power. Sunday's analytical mind, combined with the chaotic mask, creates a dangerous but useful ally. The board is set with new pieces. The crew heads to a detective agency to find more info, only to find it run by a broke detective named Ashvale and his assistant, who is suspiciously tech-savvy. It's heavily implied that Silver Wolf is involved, pulling strings from the shadows. The detective agency is a mess, filled with debt collectors and furbo creatures. It's a noir parody scene that adds another layer of absurdity to the investigation. The assistant, definitely Silverwolf, helps them hack into the security bureau to find info on the missing masks. She's doing it for the bounty money, staying true to her chaotic neutral alignment. The crew cuts a deal with her, turning the Stellaron hunter into a temporary resource. It shows how the Express is willing to work with anyone to solve the crisis, blurring the lines between friend and foe. A news report breaks the silence. Sparksy has officially entered the games and is starting her Sparxie event. She's broadcasting to the whole planet, preparing to unleash her Memetic virus. The news anchors are terrified, realizing this isn't just a show anymore. The crew sees this as the deadline. They have to stop her before the broadcast ends. The stakes skyrocket from a school prank to a planetary threat. Himeko takes charge, formulating a plan to counter Sparksy. She realizes that Sparksy's power comes from attention, so they need to hijack the narrative. They decide to use the World Breaker Waves mural from the school, a legendary artwork with purifying properties, to wash away the virus. It's a plan that uses art to fight memes, which is poetically fitting for this world. The team splits up to gather the necessary pieces. The Trailblazer takes over the failing magazine publisher, becoming the literal CEO for about 5 minutes. They use the Furbos as an information network, turning the paparazzi army into a spy ring. It's a hilarious power trip where the Trailblazer uses corporate bureaucracy to fight chaos. They rebrand the magazine and send the reporters out to find the missing mural pieces. It's weaponized journalism at its finest. General Yao Guang performs a divination on the group, trying to read their fortunes. She's stumped by the Trailblazer, seeing nothing but endless possibilities. She warns them that fate is tricky and that their choices will determine whether the planet survives. It's a somber moment amidst the wackiness, reminding everyone that real lives are on the line. She lends her strategic insight to fine-tune their plan. To find the real Sparkle and get answers, they have to enter the World's End Tavern, the HQ of the Masked Fools. The entrance is hidden behind a riddle involving the moon's reflection in the river. It's a classic fantasy trope, solving a puzzle to enter the hidden world. They have to literally shatter the reflection to open the door, symbolizing breaking through illusions. It's a trippy visual sequence that leads them into the Fool's domain. Inside the tavern, physics and logic take a holiday. The place is a chaotic mess of floating furniture and nonsensical architecture. They meet a sentient door that demands a joke for entry. The Trailblazer tells a terrible joke, or refuses, and the door lets them in out of pity. It establishes that the Masked Fools value humor above all else, even if it's bad. They are now in the belly of the beast. The crew navigates the tavern, which is filled with masked weirdos drinking jokes instead of alcohol. They find Sampo Koski, everyone's favorite scammer, chilling at the bar. He's surprised to see them, but immediately offers to help, for a price probably. Sampo acts as their guide to the deeper levels of the tavern, proving that he's always involved whenever the elation is concerned. It's a reunion that brings a chaotic comfort to the team. Sampo explains that Sparksy stole a Memetic virus from the tavern's storage. This virus overwrites people's personalities, turning them into copies of the host. It confirms their worst fears. Sparksy plans to turn everyone into her. Sampo leads them to the Golden Confessional, literally a toilet, to dig for clues in the psychic sewage. It's gross, funny, and very on-brand for the Masked Fools. They use a weird drill gadget to extract worries from the pipes. They find a manifestation of Sparksy's inner thoughts, revealing her motivation. She genuinely believes she's saving people by making them into her, removing their insecurities and pain. It's a twisted savior complex. The crew realizes she's not just evil, she's a broken program trying to fulfill a corrupted purpose. They have to shut her down to save individuality. The conflict escalates as the virus starts spreading in the tavern itself. People start turning into Sparksy clones, chanting her name. The crew has to fight their way out, realizing the infection is viral in both the digital and biological sense. Sampo suggests finding a doctor in the tavern's hidden hospital. It's a race against time before they get overwritten by the hive mind. They arrive at Fatal Joke, a hospital for the mentally unhinged. The doctor diagnoses Sparkle, the real one, with loss of self. He explains that she shed her mask, Sparksy, to avoid being defined by it, but the mask took on a life of its own. The treatment? Cremate the old identity. It's a psychological horror show where Sparkle has to confront her own discarded persona. She refuses to die, deciding to reclaim her face instead. Sparkle and the Trailblazer team up to fight the Dr. Haas system. It's a battle of wills where Sparkle asserts her dominance as the real fool. She realizes she can't just run away from her creations, she has to own them. They escape the hospital, having resolved Sparkle's identity crisis. Now fully aligned, Sparkle is ready to help them take down her doppelganger. They raid the tavern's storage for anti-Sparkle weapons, which turn out to be ridiculous gadgets like giant mechs and tumbleweeds. Sampo helps them secure the gear, acting as the quartermaster. They also find a giant stellar jade left by the imposter, realizing she paid for what she stole. It's a weird honor among thieves moment. Armed with chaotic tech, they prepare for the final assault on the school. The plan is set. Use the mural pieces to summon the purifying wave. They realize they need a catalyst to resist the virus while they work. They find a rift in reality inside a light orb, a direct link to the Aeon Aha. The Trailblazer reaches in and pulls out a banana. It's the ultimate joke. The banana contains a counter-virus that turns people into monkeys instead of Sparksy. It's stupid, but it works as a temporary shield. General Yao Guang communicates telepathically with Sunday, revealing she can hear everyone's thoughts because of the mask. She admits her divination was grim, but sees a new path now that the Trailblazer has the banana of chaos. They share a secret moment of understanding, acknowledging that they are both manipulators trying to save the world in their own twisted ways. Yao Guang recounts the tragic history of the Xianzhou, where a previous general sacrificed everything to guide an Aeon strike. She draws a parallel to the current situation, fearing a similar sacrifice is needed here. She's preparing to die if necessary. It adds a layer of tragic heroism to her character, showing that beneath the carefree diver persona is a soldier ready to lay down her life. The stream battle begins. The Trailblazer interrupts Sparxie's broadcast, challenging her to a duel. It's broadcast live to the whole planet. The Trailblazer fights not with weapons, but with the power of elation, showing the audience a different kind of fun that doesn't involve losing your soul. They use the banana virus to disrupt Sparxie's control, turning the horror show into a slapstick comedy. The audience loves it. Sparksy tries to monologue about how everyone wants to be famous, but the Trailblazer shuts her down. They argue that true elation comes from being yourself, not a copy. March and Welt enact the mural plan, unleashing the cleaning waves. The virus is washed away and the students wake up from their trance. Sparxie's power crumbles as her audience loses interest in the fake narrative. The illusion breaks completely. Sparksy is defeated, turning back into a lifeless mask. The Trailblazer stands victorious, having won the first round of the Phantasmoon Games. The crowd cheers, not for the fake idol, but for the real heroes. Sparkle reclaims her mask, integrating the experience. It's a solid win for the Express, proving they can out-chaos the Chaos faction. But the celebration is cut short. Himeko wanders into a hidden part of the school and encounters ghosts, students who died 15 years ago. It's a flashback to the Blood-Stained Games, a tragedy where a serial killer known as the Herald of Death massacred people. Himeko reveals she lost a friend or daughter figure back then. It's a gut punch of a reveal that recontextualizes the entire vacation arc as a confrontation with past trauma. They find the final piece of the puzzle, a moon hidden in the gym. It connects the current events to the past tragedy. The crew realizes that someone is trying to recreate the massacre of 15 years ago. The Herald of Death might be back, or someone is copycatting him. The fun games have turned into a murder mystery. The group regroups, the mood shifting from celebratory to grim. They realize the defeat of Sparksy was just the prologue. The real villain is still out there, hiding in the shadows. Himeko steels herself, ready to face her demons. The Express crew pledges to support her, locking in for the darker chapter ahead. The news reports confirm the victory, but also drop a bombshell. Mass murders have occurred at the Sinwish Syndicate HQ. 33 people dead, killed in the style of the Herald of Death. The cheerful facade of Arcadia is shattered. The public is panicking. The detective Ashvale realizes his friend is among the dead. The stakes are now life and death. Pearl approaches the grieving detective, offering him a spot in the games. She wants him to use his anger to help the IPC restore order. It's a manipulative move, weaponizing his grief, but he accepts. He enters the game not for fun, but for revenge, justice. The roster of supplicants is filling up with broken people seeking redemption or vengeance. Himeko confronts the current dean, demanding answers about the past. She questions who he really is, sensing a connection to the tragedy. The mystery deepens as identities are questioned. Meanwhile, Pearl meets with Silverwolf, trading secrets for cooperation. The factions are aligning for a massive conflict. The final montage shows multiple new supplicants entering the game: a crow, a shell, a cat, a wolf. The stage is set for a battle royale. The narrator questions if this is truly the elation the Aeon wanted, or if it has mutated into something unrecognizable. The episode ends on a cliffhanger, with the Herald of Death looming over the festival, promising that the next round will be painted in blood. Pearl secures the deal with Silverwolf by revealing she knows about Zero, a legendary hacker from Punk Lord. She trades forbidden tech secrets for Silverwolf's hacking skills. It shows the IPC is willing to break its own rules to win. Silverwolf agrees, adding the Stellaron hunters firmly to the board. The alliances are messy, dangerous, and purely transactional. As the screen fades to black, a small creature, possibly the banana-infected thing or a new player, stumbles onto the stage. The chaotic energy is at an all-time high. The Astral Express has won a battle, but the war for the Phantasmoon Games has just begun, and it's going to be absolutely unhinged. The vibe is ominous, signaling that the vacation is officially over and the horror arc is starting. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.